At the beginning of the story, we're introduced to a scientist who has created an advanced robotic dog. This isn't just any machine. It's packed with cutting-edge technology, incredible strength, and abilities far beyond anything ordinary. In fact, this robotic dog is designed to be a powerful military weapon that could play a major role in the future. Its name is A.X.L. The scene then shifts to a motocross race, where we meet a teenager named Miles. During the competition, his bike suddenly breaks down, leaving him stranded. Looking for help, he approaches a nearby racing team, but unfortunately, they're from a rival group and refuse to assist him. Just when things seem hopeless, a girl named Sarah steps in. She offers Miles a chain for his bike, allowing him to repair it and get back into the race. Thanks to her help, Miles returns to the track and surprisingly manages to win the entire event. After the race, a rich and arrogant guy named Sam approaches him. Clearly irritated by Miles' victory, he tells him about a party happening at his house that night and sarcastically says he'll be waiting for him there. Miles doesn't like Sam at all and has no interest in attending. However, once he learns that Sarah will be there too, he changes his mind and decides to go. At the party, Sam behaves exactly as expected. He's reckless, immature, and constantly trying to show off. He even sets things on fire for fun, something that immediately annoys Miles. Eventually, bored with the party, Miles wanders off towards Sam's impressive motorcycle collection. While he's there, Sarah joins him, and the two start talking. Their chemistry is obvious, and it's clear that Miles enjoys spending time with her far more than being around Sam and his friends. Later, Miles sits down with his father and opens up about his frustrations. He explains that they're struggling financially and that he desperately wants to do something bigger with his life. He wants success, recognition, and most importantly, money to help improve their situation. The story then returns to the scientist who created A.X.L. The scientist is in serious trouble because the robotic dog has escaped. As if that wasn't bad enough, he receives a call from military officials informing him that his project is considered illegal. If the government finds A.X.L, they will seize control of it immediately. The scientist pleads for time, asking for 2 days to find the robot himself before handing it over. Since he knowingly broke the rules by creating it, he has little choice but to cooperate. Meanwhile, Sam once again invites Miles to join him and his friends for a trip to the hills. There will be stunts, bike racing, and videos being recorded for social media. Miles has always dreamed of becoming popular and building a name for himself. Since fame could eventually help him earn money, he agrees to go. When they arrive at the hills, Sam secretly decides to humiliate him. While Miles is distracted, some of Sam's friends sabotage his motorcycle by pouring liquid into it. Their plan is simple: make sure Miles embarrasses himself when it's time to perform. Soon everyone starts showing off their tricks and stunts. Then Miles takes his turn. Unfortunately, the sabotage works. His bike fails during a dangerous stunt, causing him to crash badly. The accident damages his motorcycle and leaves him injured. What's even worse is Sam's reaction. Instead of checking if Miles is okay, Sam simply laughs it off and leaves him behind. That moment reveals exactly what kind of person Sam really is. Determined not to give up, Miles struggles back to his feet and attempts to start his damaged bike. Before he can leave, though, something strange catches his attention. Nearby sits a massive container, and odd sounds are coming from inside it. Curious, Miles approaches and peeks inside. What he discovers shocks him. Inside the container is the robotic dog A.X.L. The moment A.X.L notices him, it suddenly bursts into action and starts chasing him. Miles immediately jumps onto his bike and speeds away. The chase becomes intense as the robotic dog rapidly closes the distance. Panicking, Miles attempts a difficult maneuver but loses control and crashes once again. This time, the A.X.L crashes as well. Seeing the machine damaged on the ground, Miles feels sorry for it. Despite being terrified only moments earlier, he walks over to help. Examining the robot, he notices a metal rod lodged inside its body. Carefully, he pulls it out. The machine reacts as if it's been relieved of pain. For a moment, it almost feels like a real dog expressing gratitude. And that's exactly what makes A.X.L so fascinating. Even though it's a weapon, its behavior resembles that of a loyal animal. Miles begins to realize that this robot must have escaped from wherever it was created, and there was probably a reason behind it. As time passes, a friendship starts forming between them. A.X.L behaves just like a dog would. It plays with Miles, follows him around, and slowly begins trusting him. Elsewhere, Sarah confronts Sam and demands to know what happened to Miles. Sam dismisses her concerns and tells her where he last saw him. Meanwhile, Miles and A.X.L continue bonding. What they don't realize is that the scientist is secretly watching everything through cameras installed inside the robot. Watching the footage, the scientist proudly tells his colleague that this proves his invention works. According to him, the A.X.L can successfully coexist with humans. His colleague disagrees and warns that the military and government will never accept such unauthorized experiments. Still, the scientist refuses to back down. At that moment, Sarah finally arrives and finds Miles. However, the instant A.X.L sees her, it becomes defensive and starts growling. Miles quickly calms the robot and explains that Sarah is his friend. After some hesitation, Sarah approaches A.X.L, and surprisingly, the robot accepts her as well. Now the three of them begin forming an unusual friendship. That night they stay together and enjoy themselves. Using its advanced technology, A.X.L even plays music, creating a surprisingly wholesome moment. It's one of those scenes that makes you forget this machine was originally built as a weapon. The next morning, Miles decides they can't stay there forever. Since A.X.L has nowhere else to go, they load him into a truck and leave. Soon they stop at a gas station, only to realize they don't have enough money. Fortunately, A.X.L's abilities come in handy. The robot hacks into the station's system and helps Miles get access to some cash, allowing them to buy food and continue traveling. Later, Sarah shows Miles some of her artwork. At the same time, A.X.L displays graphical data stored in its memory. As they examine the information, they make an important discovery. This isn't simply a robotic pet. It's a military prototype designed specifically for combat operations. The deeper they look, the more dangerous the truth becomes. Miles eventually finds a special chip connected to A.X.L's systems. Once activated, it strengthens the bond between him and the robot, giving him greater influence over its actions. But just as they're processing all of this, Sam suddenly shows up again. Sam arrives looking for trouble, and Sarah immediately tells him to leave. She has already figured out what he did to Miles back at the hills and wants nothing to do with him. Instead of backing down, Sam starts arguing with her. Before the situation can escalate further, Miles steps in. Sam quickly turns his attention toward him and begins acting aggressively again. That turns out to be a huge mistake. A.X.L sees Miles as his friend, and the moment Sam starts threatening him, the robotic dog becomes protective. Within seconds, A.X.L charges towards Sam. At the same time, back at the laboratory, the scientist's colleagues become concerned. They warn him that A.X.L could potentially harm someone if things continue this way. The scientist, however, remains calm. He wants to see how the robot responds on its own. In a way, he's still treating the situation like an experiment. Fortunately, A.X.L doesn't seriously hurt Sam. The robot scares him badly enough that he runs away in fear. Afterward, Sarah becomes upset with Miles. She reminds him that Sam comes from a powerful family and warns that provoking him could lead to serious consequences. Sarah's mother works for Sam's family, so she understands better than anyone how vindictive he can be. Not long after, Miles and Sarah leave A.X.L hidden away and return home. Once there, Miles tells his father everything about the robotic dog. His father listens carefully before giving simple advice. If the robot belongs to someone else, then eventually it should be returned to its rightful owner. Meanwhile, Sam is consumed by anger and humiliation. Instead of letting things go, he decides to get revenge. He tracks down A.X.L's location, sneaks over to where the robot is hiding, and pours fuel all around it. Then he sets the entire area on fire. To make matters worse, he records the whole thing and sends the video to Sarah. The moment Sarah and Miles see the footage, they rush to the location. But by the time they arrive, A.X.L has already suffered severe damage. Thankfully, the robot is not completely destroyed. A signal from its systems indicates that it can still be repaired. Miles and Sarah transport A.X.L to a safe place and begin working on restoring him. After examining the damage, they learn that the final step requires a complete reboot process that will take roughly 2.5 hours. Now all they can do is wait. Unfortunately, they're not the only ones tracking A.X.L. The scientist finally discovers the robot's location and immediately sends a team to retrieve it. Miles desperately hopes A.X.L will finish rebooting before they arrive. Luckily, after what feels like forever, the reboot is completed. A.X.L powers back online. But something has changed. Because Sam was responsible for setting him on fire, the robot had scanned and identified him before being damaged. Now A.X.L seems determined to confront him. Without wasting time, the robotic dog heads straight towards Sam. When A.X.L finds him, it immediately begins pursuing him. Terrified, Sam tries defending himself using the same flame device he used earlier. He blasts fire toward the robot again and again. This time, however, A.X.L isn't backing down. Then Sam's luck runs out. His fuel supply runs empty. With no way to continue attacking, he's left completely vulnerable as A.X.L advances toward him. For a moment, it genuinely looks like the robot might finally take revenge. Thankfully, Miles and Sarah arrive just in time. They step between them and remind A.X.L that he's a good dog. They calm him down before anything irreversible happens. But before anyone can relax, a new threat appears. Several military drones suddenly arrive overhead. The scientist has sent them to regain control of A.X.L. The drones overwhelm the robot's systems, weakening him enough for the scientist to take him back. Once A.X.L is captured, the scientist alters his programming. And this is where things become surprisingly emotional. The modifications damage A.X.L's memories. Everything he experienced with Miles and Sarah begins disappearing. The friendship, the trust, the adventures, it's all fading away. Even worse, the changes make his behavior far more aggressive than before. When Sarah approaches him, A.X.L doesn't even recognize her. It's as if all those memories never existed. Then Sarah tries something familiar. She recreates a gesture she used with him earlier. Slowly, something clicks inside A.X.L's systems. A fragment of recognition returns. And suddenly, the robot understands who she is. At that moment, A.X.L also realizes who has truly been manipulating him. He turns around and attacks the scientist. Before the confrontation can go any further, government forces arrive. The scientist is immediately arrested for his illegal activities and unauthorized experiments. Now the military intends to take control of A.X.L as well. Seeing no other option, Miles and Sarah attempt to escape with him, but they're quickly running out of time. In a brave move, Sarah deliberately surrenders herself to the authorities. Her goal is simple. If the soldiers focus on her, Miles and A.X.L might have a chance to get away. The plan works. Miles and A.X.L flee deep into the wilderness while military helicopters and drones begin chasing them. The pursuit becomes intense. They run, jump, and push forward as fast as possible. During the escape, Miles falls and injures his arm. Realizing he can't keep going, he finally tells A.X.L something he never wanted to say. He tells him to leave. A.X.L refuses at first. Like a loyal dog, he doesn't want to abandon his friend. But Miles insists. Eventually, A.X.L understands. Reluctantly, he turns and runs. Soon he reaches a remote area while helicopters and drones continue closing in from every direction. That's when A.X.L makes one final decision. One of his hidden abilities allows him to self-destruct. If he's going to be captured and turned into a weapon again, he'd rather destroy himself first. Before activating the sequence, he looks back toward Miles one last time. It's a quiet but heartbreaking moment. The look almost feels like a goodbye, as if he's saying, "Thank you for everything. You were my best friend." Then A.X.L activates the self-destruct system. A massive explosion erupts across the area. Just like that, A.X.L is gone. Miles can only stand there and watch, devastated by the loss of his friend. Sometime later, we see that the scientist has been sent to prison. While he's incarcerated, a military captain visits him. She tells him that there are signs suggesting A.X.L's systems may still be active somehow. Then she asks an important question. If A.X.L can be recovered, should they reboot him or destroy him permanently? The scientist is surprised they're asking for his opinion. The captain admits that despite everything, they still need his expertise. As a result, the government releases him so he can help with the project. Meanwhile, Miles and Sarah are being recognized for their actions. They receive scholarships and finally begin moving forward with their lives. Later, they're shown together on a beach. Beside them is a husky dog, a subtle reminder of the friend they lost. Then Miles pulls out a device he once used to connect with A.X.L. As soon as it comes into contact with his blood, it activates. A signal appears, and that signal suggests something incredible. A.X.L may still be alive. Somewhere, somehow, the robotic dog is reactivating and could return one day, leaving us with the possibility that this friendship isn't over yet. And with that reveal, the story comes to an end.